for this trick, this is actually called the ace triumph, so it only makes sense that we use the aces for this effect. Let me actually display them for you. We've got the ace of hearts. We've got the ace of, let's see, what's the next one? Ace of spades. The ace of, let's see, diamonds. Usually referred to as women's best friend. I'm not sure why. And the last one is the ace of clubs. And I'll place it a little bit more further down because I feel like it's kind of close to the top. And there we go. That's all 4 aces. And here's the interesting part. You see them all spread out throughout different parts of the pack, but yet all I have to do is give it a wave and they appear right on top, like so. So we're going to try out a little something with these aces. What we're going to do is I'm going to let a spectator point to their favorite one, and they can choose whichever one they want. Let's say they choose the ace of hearts, and we'll place the other 3 inside the pack. And I always love to mention to them, make sure there's no trapdoors or Spanish-speaking chihuahuas amongst that card that make it tricky in any way, shape, or form. Good, good. So we're going to use this ace of hearts, and what we'll do is we'll get it and we'll mix it into the pack like so. That'll be the selection we'll use for this trick, and we can actually give the cards a fair shuffle, showing neither the aces are, or the chosen ace is neither on bottom, hopefully not, nor on top as we do this. And give it a fair cut as we go along. Now there was a fun little thing I love to do, because I feel like the cards are mixed, but I want to make it extra impossible for this particular effect. So what I'll do is I'll actually take some cards and I'll turn them face up, a couple cards turn face down, face up, face down, and just make a giant, pile of cards face up and face down, just going crazy everywhere, and we're just going to have some fun with it. And so you get to see face to back cards, cards that are back to face, cards that are, let's see, here's an example right here, cards that are back to back, and so you get just the madness of it all. But I'm going to need the help of a lovely spectator. If you may, miss, she would come up. Can you give it a little wave over the pack? They do so. Let me check. A little bit more of a wave. A little bit more. They'll give it a little bit more of a wave. And then they will notice that if we do it correctly, we can actually cut out your card, the ace of spades. Face up into the pack. Pretty amazing. Let's do something more. We give another little wave over the pack, and they do so. And not only this ace, but all 4 aces appear. That's part 2. One last wave they gave it to me. And remember all those mixed up cards into face up and face down? Well, seems they've all sorted themselves out. My name is Dan, and I hope you have a good one. So let's jump right into the explanation of the ace triumph. So we have the 4, let's say we use the 4 aces, or you can use whichever 4 of a kind you like for this trick. If you know the culling technique, Kotia Camelot's Roadrunner cull, this makes it a lot more free. You could choose anything, 4s, 7s, 2s, any 4 of a kind you want. So let's say for context they choose jacks. Now we turn to our side, so angles, and make better as I am sitting. So we go through and we're going to cull the 4 jacks. If it's too near the top or you don't like culling early, I usually just cut the pack. So we spread on through, and we can use 1 or 2 cards going up to add more cover for the cull. Anyways, so we see jack clubs, cull it, that's the first one. Next one is the jack of spades. We can point it out to them, cull. Third one is the jack of hearts, cull. And then the 4th jack, let me see, is there a 4th jack in here? Oh, I missed it. Jack of diamonds, and then we cull that one. Now, outside the little mess up, you can control them all 4 to the top and then just produce them, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4 jacks right off the top of the pack, and you can spread to show all the cards are different. That is one option. As I was going to mention, in my original performance, let me actually just put these in the center for a second. In the original performance, I actually had them reversed on top, so using the culling and reversing technique I invented. So we go up like so, and eventually we just come across all 4 jacks that we see right here. We call 1, 2, 3, 4, and you want to get all 4 in their possession before the end of the spread, because as you come together, and this is where the upper cards right here that were outjogged come into play for added cover. What we do is we get the 4 jacks and we have it touch against the edge of the second, third finger and fourth finger, the pinky finger right here. So middle finger to pinky, you're all holding onto the card, and then the recessive hands fingers are just pushing, or the right hands fingers in my case, are pushing on the cards to just reverse them. So it's basically a half pass of reversing the cards underneath the spread. So from here, it looks like so. Revealing it, it looks like so. You're just using your middle finger to just push and reverse them, and then let them coalesce. So you got a quick reverse. So in action, if I may, let's just toss them in the center. After we cull all 4 of them, spread through, spread through, spread through, we see the jacks. 1, 2, I know they're in separate parts, but just to make it easier for clarity. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. We go to the end of the spread, and then push with the middle finger, and we square it, getting the reversal. And our cover is this side with the cover cards. It makes it not angle sensitive for most cases. We've got the reverse cards, and then we say, how long do you think it would take the jacks to come to the top? They answer, and then you turn over the pack, showing 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're all good. So that is an idea on a surprise 4-ace production right off the top of the pack. Continue on the card trick. They can point to any one they want. Let's say an ease of choice would be the Jack of Hearts in this case. They look at that one. We put the others inside the pack. As per se, the usual, I believe this is credited between Divernon and Ed Marlowe, because they both had similarities to this one, so I'll credit Divernon in this case. But both are credited because they both helped come up with a shift or multiple control technique of this magnitude. So we got the cards. We push them in a little as we let the top of the pack slide off. And we're going to basically control these cards to the top of the pack. So we insert them in different parts of the pack, like so again. 1, 2, 3. Then we push in the cards as we let the top part of the cards fall down. Okay, and then the cover of these cards falling onto these ones will give cover for the strip out, which looks like so, because all 3 jacks are right here that they got stripped out. What it appears to be in the image is that you push all the jacks in, and now you're shuffling and mixing them up. So again, 1, 2, 3, get this far, push them a little, let the cards drop, and then pull these cards out as you keep on shuffling in a Hindu style manner. And under that guise and context, you controlled all 3 jacks to the top of the pack, but it is face up. So you're like this. Okay, you don't want to flash that, but just showing you the positioning. Now we have the Jack of Hearts right here. We then get a 4-card break, adding this card to the top of the pack. You can either make it 4-card break, or you can just make it 3 cards, and then we do another cutting phase after, undercutting one top to the bottom. But I think it's just easier if we just get that one extra card. So random card, 3 jacks. Put the jack on top, say, okay, this will be the focus of the trick. You can display it as many times as you want. And then cut the pack, doing a double undercut, cutting these packet, holding a break. Let me actually go back over it. So we got a break under these 4 cards, jack right here, here, and now we transfer it, holding a break, transferring the pack, this is the top 5 original cards, to the bottom and then squaring everything up. So now you got a cover card and the 4 jacks. In the performance, I actually did a shuffle or two before I got rid of the cover card. But we're just setting up for position, so it seems absolutely fair. So I don't think the jacks are anywhere near the top nor on bottom, right? And you can show the bottom card, and then they would say right. From here, we would get a the actual explanation. We would get a break underneath the bottom card. It would swing cut over half the packet, taking the bottom card with it. So it looked like so, flashing, swing cut. So we take the bottom card with it. You could actually also just do a halo cut, using this part of your hand right here. It's Harry Lorraine's, swing cutting and taking off half the packet with the bottom card beneath it. And the context for this would be, and let's shuffle up the cards, not flashing this packet because this contains the jacks. And we'll just mix them up. Make sure the bottom cards are not intertwined. And then shuffle on up, retaining the jacks on the bottom position without anyone the wiser. You then go into the classic slop triumph, which is, I want to try something to make it more difficult to lose the card, your card, the jack of hearts in the pack. So we're going to take some cards, turn face up, turn face down. You do it slowly so you can be demonstrating like this. And then you could go fast and go sloppy like so with every couple cards. And it just looks like a haphazard mess. And in actuality, all these cards are face up, all these cards are face down. An illusion caused by the, if I may, let me flip these down. Caused by the fact that you're just rotating some cards up. And you're holding by the first 3 fingers and thumb. And then pushing off some cards and push them on the back side. Not this side, but the back side. And so all you're doing is adding more cards to one side, adding more cards to another, and they're not ever intertwining, so it's just 2 separate piles. Anyways, this helps set up for like a triumph effect. It's pretty cool. So you do backwards, forwards with a slop triumph, and we just go down to the last 4 cards, and we get a good count of the last 4 cards. You can do this as slow as you want. And then turn this pack face up, putting these 4 jacks face down on top of the face up cards. So the condition is jacks, face up cards, and then face down. Don't worry, it's allergies, not corona. I got tested. As I was saying. So we've got the cards. So the current position is that we got the 4 face up jacks. We've got all the face up cards, and then the face down ones. So let's overview real fast about the positioning. So these cards, the jacks again, are on bottom. We do the slop shuffle. I credit Chris Kenner. This is Chris Kenner as one of the first people I learned the slop shuffle from, and published in many different sources. So backwards, forwards, and the cards are staying separated again, like so. So backwards, forwards, until you come upon the last 4 cards. They go on top, and these are all the jacks, and you got them like so. So the position is face down cards, face up cards, and 4 jacks, like so. At this point, we can show to the spectators, you would, if you can, what's helpful is to get a break between the back-to-back cards beforehand. There is a natural break. Sometimes it's hard for you and for me to get, so I have to feel around and just actually look for it. So there are cards that are face to back you can just display. I lift up above the break and show there's cards that are back to face and then back to back. And as you display back to back like so, you take a separate pack and just put it on top. Thus reversing the packet and putting the 4 jacks like this. So again, the cards are 4 jacks, face up cards, and then face down cards. As we go for the face to back, then back to back, face to back to face, and then back to back. And we're naturally flipping over this packet because it's like this. We flipped it in reverse, and now we just put the cards back, reversing the packet, so it looks like so. Now we could end it just right here, snap your fingers, spread, and then show 4 jacks, and that's the end of the trick. But that'd only be one effect, and that'd be kind of not that great. It's kind of anticlimactic. So I tend to build up the effect, and it has like 3 kickers, and it leads each one to building a higher effect. And so this is what I chose to do. I give it a wave, and say it's the spectator, involve them, let them give a wave. Then you riffle the packet, and then you see your jack, the jack right here. And so we give it a wave. After we give it a wave, we cut to the Jack of Spades. Now, presumably this is their card, but in some mishap it's reversed. I'm not sure if we started. I think because of the positioning, I might have reversed them. But in the case it isn't, we can always say, "Oh, no worries. That's what the second wave is for." In the case that these are reversed and their selection's down here. So you can say, "Oh, give it a wave," and actually, you can get all 4 jacks, including your selection, and then you've recovered from apparently mistake and actually made your effect even stronger on the audience in case there is an error or something happens. The third effect is, remember that mixed up pack, face them face down? You go yes, a wave, and all the cards fix themselves. Most people might say it's a trick deck, so you can actually, if you want, very optional, you can actually turn over the cards face up like so, displaying them, and show them the effect is done, and everything's fair, can be examined. That is my Ace Triumph, and it's a great little effect to do. I usually do it around Halloween as a quick trick to amaze spectators, and if I was going out for trick-or-treating with my little one, I would do this trick and increase my candy profits by at least 5 to 10-fold. Great little effect. I hope you enjoy it. This is Ace Triumph.